a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Morning comes and you know that you wanna stay. Close the blinds, let's pretend that the time has changed. Keep our clothes on the floor, open up champagne. Let's continue tonight, come on, celebrate. That's how we do. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
If you jump into a race and you haven't paid the entry fee,
if you just hop in and you don't have a bib number and you just run with it illegally,
it's called being abandoned.
The Charge Bandit is the first stability offering in our Run Long segment.
we have the armor vent and the 4-foot maximum breathability. We paired it with the Charge Ultimate Response adaptive cushioning. If you go to the medial side, you'll see a stability post here, and we've done stability kind of in our own way where we're more guiding the foot.
This shoe provides a light stability platform for the runner.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product, it's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my duck off the crib, the spot, the pad. But my house is your house if you throwing it back. Excuse me if my home draining is sad. Soon as these happy faces land, you can run with the cash. Home run, slam dunk, touchdown pass. Mi casa es tu casa, so it ain't no holding back. Another shot of vodka, you know what's in my glass. It's my house, just relax. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even
you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the guard camp.
This is Mark the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about two wonderful candidates for South Dakota Legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like post-22 baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the guard camp.
This is Mark, the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about two wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like post-22 baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Maintaining healthy
All set for game number 2 of today's doubleheader, the final game of this 4-game and 2-night road trip. Post 22 Hardhats will rematch the Missoula Mavericks and try to avenge their 9-6 loss that they suffered in the first game of their doubleheader yesterday. We thank you so much for joining us here on this beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Billings, Montana on what is Mother's Day. So if you haven't already, tell your mother how much you appreciate her and love her, and have a great day celebrating. It is absolutely gorgeous out here, according to my technology, 74 degrees and just bright and sunny. Perfect day for baseball from start to finish. Thanks so much for joining us once again. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, also being streamed live on the internet on points22live.com. I'm joined, as I always am, by former American Legion third baseman, formerly of Post 32, out in Belfouche, Teddy Leipold. And Teddy, we look back at this first game, and it was all about getting back to the process, getting back to the system, simplifying things, sticking to your routine. Great things have happened so far for this Hardhats club. Defeated the Billings Royals 6-2. What was a perfectly executed game, top to bottom for this Hardhats club, defensively in the batter's box, on the mound, and now they look to make it a 2-0 day. Avenge this loss that they had against Missoula yesterday, taking them on now and go back on the bus happy and with a big split here on this road trip.
Yeah, and that's what you want to ultimately do with this. Of course, you want to win every game, but is starting as rough as the start was yesterday, and as rough as the guys played, to come back and play Billings on back-to-back, the second game of yesterday and then the first game in today, to come back, get a big 6-2 win against them, and really not just get the win, but to really tighten up all the errors that you saw and really tighten up the play of baseball, the play of their baseball team as a whole is huge. And then you come in with Missoula, who's already beaten you once this weekend. You're looking to avenge that loss once again here, and you got to do it. It all starts with pitching, and that's going to start with Hayden McGriff on the mound. That you just have to follow him, and you got to keep going with what he's going to give you. And your defense has to be able to make the plays when the ball is hit into the field. You, as a pitcher, you shouldn't have to worry about if the defense will make the play or not. And yesterday, that's kind of how it was. Anytime there was contact, you wondered if that play would be made. But in that like you saw in that Billings game, there was no question. There was a ground ball hit. It was going to be an out. You were pretty confident that it was just going to happen. And that needs to be the case here in the second game as well.
Well, you touched on the fact that Hayden McGriff will be the starting pitcher today. He and the Hardhats defense will take to the field first, which means that they are batting in the bottom halves of the inning. So going to the sticks first will be this Missoula Mavericks team that is playing in the visitor halves of the 7 innings of regulation that we have in front of us. Let's go ahead through all the batting orders in the defensive alignment for the Hardhats. So we'll start off with the Missoula Mavericks batting order. Leading off is Nick Jovetic. He is the center fielder. Number 20 is on his back. He's followed by number 7, Jacob Beering, who's playing the 6th position at shortstop. Batting third is number 13, John Mitchell. He'll be playing at first base defensively. And in the cleanup spot is number 6, Hunter Paulson. He's out in left field. Batting fifth is the designated hitter and yesterday's starting pitcher that the Mavericks had. Ryan McHugh, number 24, is on his back. Batting sixth is number 21, Spencer Schock. He's in the hot corner at third base. Batting 7th is number 2, James Martin, the second baseman. Batting 8th is number 9, Clayton Frankie. He is backstopping for our starting pitcher today at the catching position. And rounding out the batting order at number 9 is number 5, Derek Potter. He is out in right field on defense. The starting pitcher for this Mavericks club is Trevor Cunningham, and when he takes to the mound, he will face the Hardhats batting order and defensive alignment of the leadoff hitter, number 15, Walker Paz, once again at his respective position at second base. Batting second is number 12, Drake Messenger. This time he shifted over from center field to left field. Batting third, once again at the DH position, is number 13, Zach Solano. And batting in the cleanup spot for the only time today is Matt Vickers. He'll be out at first base. Batting fifth is number 17, Sam Haig. He is backstopping for Hayden McGriff today. Batting sixth is number 20, Cam Fees. He will be out in right field. He was shifted there earlier when he came in to play for Eric Petrie. Batting seventh is number 22, Cooper Bowman. He's playing at the sixth position at shortstop. Batting eighth is number 18, Connor King. He is out in center field. And once again, rounding out the batting order at number 9 is Justin Kramer. And as we mentioned, Hayden McGriff will make his first start of the season today, pitching in this second game here, closing out the trip. You and I have seen Hayden McGriff pitch some unbelievable baseball. Most recently for us, that was last year's postseason. Dynamite in the state tournament, dynamite in the regional tournament, and was 3 outs away from a perfect game last year in his only start in the Gopher Classic. So this is a gentleman. He can play both sides of the infield on either corner. Now he's got the middle bump, 60 feet, 6 inches away from home.
Yeah, and this is a kid that relies on his fastball. He has really good velocity with his fastball, but he also has that breaking ball and that slider. But one of the best pitches he has is that changeup that he comes in and just really throws that off-speed pitch. And he's not overly tall, but he has long arms, and he gets that whip behind his pitches, which gives him the movement that he has and also the velocity that he has. And it makes him very, very effective. And after that almost perfect game there in the Gopher Classic, that really gave him the confidence to really come out day in and day out on the mound and know that he could dominate any lineup no matter who is in that opposing dugout.
Oh, absolutely. And again, Hayden McGriff is going to start off on the mound hurling for the Hardhats. He's about to face the Missoula lineup. The due-up batters here are Nick Jovetic, the center fielder,
First baseman John Mitchell,
and then Jacob Beering, the shortstop, and John Mitchell at first base. The defensive alignment, Hayden McGriff is on the bump. His battery mate behind the plate is Sam Haig. First base is Matt Vickers. Second base, Walker Paz. Shortstop, Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third, Justin Kramer. Left to right in the outfield, Drake Messenger, Connor King, and Cam Fees.
And on the mound for the Mavericks, Trevor Cunningham.
And for Sam Haig, you're looking for him to rebound behind the plate especially. wasn't a terrible performance yesterday, but it's one that, there are a couple of improvements that can be made.
Oh, of course. There's always things you can do better, and he did struggle in yesterday's game. You don't ever want to, put a player down, but there's a difference, and he is one of the people that will understand that. He'll be the first to admit that, yes, he did struggle, but that's not the kind of player he is. He just needed to take a step back and breathe, and you got to think he's going to rebound and have a really nice day behind the plate and really be able to help offensively and defensively, help this post-22 Hardhats to try and get a win here against this Missoula ball club.
Well, Nick Jovetic is going to lead off as the first batter.
Game behind the plate, Cam Bjornstead, and on the bases, Ron Prokop.
And it looks like Jovetic is set to take his position in the batter's box. Left-handed hitter to face the right-handed Hayden McGriff. As is customary for the Hardhats, everybody comes into the pitcher's mound. Everybody bumps Hardhats. Sam Hay gives his starting pitcher, Hayden McGriff, a fist bump, and it looks like we are ready to go to work here at Joe Pertz Field, the final game of this 4-game road trip. The Hardhats 1-2 so far, lost both games yesterday, lost their only one played today against Billings. And now they look to make this a 2-0 day, avenge their 9-6 loss they suffered yesterday to this Mavericks club. Hayden McGriff gets the point from our home plate umpire, Cam Bjornstad, and his first pitch is high and away for ball one. It's Nick Jovetic, the center fielder, followed by Jacob Bierig, the shortstop, and then John Mitchell at first base. 1-0 the count to Jovetic. McGriff in his windup, and he deals. Up high, just missed the zone. 2 balls, no strikes. (2-0) the count now from McGriff. Nobody's on, top of the first. Next pitch, swing and a miss. 2 balls and a strike, the count. Pitch catching the outside corner as well.
And McGriff doing a nice job trying to get that downward action. You saw those first 2 pitches kind of sailed on him because he was trying to overthrow it. Now he's coming down with his pitches to get him in the lower part of the zone.
Next pitch misses the zone. 3 balls and a strike, the count now. 1 pitch away from dealing a leadoff walk to start off this game. 3-1 the count. He deals to Jovetic. Swung on it, hit right back to McGriff. Skips by his glove. Paused, tried to get the stop. It bounces off his glove and goes into shallow right center field there. So on first is Jovetic. He had to earn it that time. And that's going to bring up Jacob Bierig, the shortstop, with 1 on and nobody out.
A nice job there by McGriff battling back, throwing strikes. Yes, Jovetic got the single right up the middle, and Walker Paz definitely had the range to get over there, and he almost got it. His range just amazes me how he can cover on the other side of second and back, but Jovetic now looking for another ground ball is McGriff.
First pitch from McGriff to Bierig is ball 1. 1-0 the count. Man on first in Jovetic. Nobody out here in the top of the first. No score. McGriff checks Jovetic at first. Looks to deal into Jacob Bierig, the shortstop. 1-0 is pumped foul. Right field side. And that's going to even the count at a ball and a strike. And if you're Hayden McGriff, you're looking to keep your composure here on the mound, try and induce that ground ball, get that double play up the middle of the infield.
Yeah, this middle infield so good at turning those double plays. If you can get a ground ball to Walker Paz or Cooper Bowman, look for them to try to rip off 2 outs here and clear the bases.
Here's a 1-1. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes now the count from McGriff to Bierig. He has Nick Jovetic on first. Got there by a very hard-earned infield single. McGriff back to his stance. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. First K of the day for Hayden McGriff. 1 up with 1 on.
Now batting the first baseman.
And that's going to bring up John Mitchell.
Hayden McGriff mixing up his pitches. You saw his sequence go from fastball to a curveball and then punch out with that fastball. Normally you see that this curveball is his go-to pitch to send a hitter back to the dugout, but nice job really going against the grain and trying something different, and it ended up working.
McGriff tried a pickoff move at first. It actually escapes Matt Vickers, so Jovetic is going to advance to second. Vickers recovers the ball, and he shoots it immediately to Cooper Bowman covering second. So Jovetic is going to take advantage of that pickoff attempt gone wrong. He is now in scoring position on second with 1 out here in the top of the first.
Yeah, that's tough because that takes away the double play ball. You don't want to allow these runners to advance by virtue of an error. You want to have to earn it, but taking away the double play ball is huge. Now you just got to hope you can hold Jovetic at second and worry about Mitchell here at the plate.
First pitch to Mitchell. Swung on, and it's chopped to short. Bowman's there on the hop. Throw to first is in time. In the ensuing sequence of events, Jovetic advances to third. So there's 2 outs here in the top of the first. There is already a man in scoring position. And now that's going to bring up the cleanup hitter, Hunter Paulson, playing in left field.
And that's exactly the case I was getting at right before he hit the ball. If that pass ball was gone, that would have been a double play ending the inning. Now you have to face an extra batter here in Hunter Paulson, but you can still get out of this with no damage done.
Missoula, the left fielder, Hunter Paulson.
First pitch to Paulson's up high for ball 1. Should he safely get on the bases, Ryan McHugh, the designated hitter, is on deck. McHugh yesterday was the starting pitcher for Missoula against his Hardhats club. Here comes the 1-0 from McGriff. Breaking ball catches the outside corner. There's strike 1. Ball and a strike now the count to the right-handed hitting Hunter Paulson. Man is on third for him. That's Nick Jovetic. He singled to get on the base path, was advanced to second on a gaff with a pickoff move. Next pitch is fouled. Ball and 2 strikes the count. McGriff's 1 pitch away from ending this jam.
Yeah, nice job here by McGriff to stay calm. You do have that runner 90 feet to his right to the left of home plate at third, and he's still just bearing down, going against Hunter Paulson. You're going to have a conference here from Sam Haig to just kind of tell him and try to figure out some strategy here, but with 2 strikes here on Paulson and 2 outs, you just want to go after the hitter. Well, look for that big bending curveball that McGriff has and look for him to try and just send him down back to the dugout for his second K.
Big pitch here for McGriff to Paulson. He has Jovetic on third, 2 outs here, top of the first. 1-2's the count. McGriff from the stretch. Here's the 1-2. Low and away, misses the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes now, an even count for Paulson.
Well, still a really good pitch there. McGriff started on the outside part of the plate and pushed it into the left-handed batter's box with Paulson here. If he tried to get him to chase something. Now 2-2 the count. Look for McGriff to come with that fastball.
2-2. Just missed low and away. And that's going to go to a full count here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A huge payoff pitch coming for McGriff. On third is Jovetic. He's 90 feet away from giving the Missoula Mavericks the first lead of the game. 0-0 is the score. Here's the 3-2. Swung on and chopped. Foul, third base side. We will have payoff pitch number 2 coming up.
McGriff a part of a 13-pitch battle, so he knows all about payoff pitches, but now he's on the other end of it. Let's see how he can handle this one.
Payoff pitch number 2. This is the 7th pitch of the at-bat, and he deals, and it hits him. So Hunter Paulson's going to advance to first. And that's going to bring up the cleanup hitter, the designated hitter, Ryan McHugh.
And you know what? I understand he hit him there. He would have walked him anyway with 3 balls on him, and hitting him was almost the best option because if that ball got past Sam Haig, that would have allowed the run to come in. But since it did hit the batter, that becomes a dead ball, unable to advance on that. So now look, you might get Paulson in motion here to try and get 2 men in scoring position here with 2 outs.
First pitch from McGriff to McHugh is outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count to McHugh, who again, he was the starting pitcher yesterday for Missoula against his Hardhats club. Should he safely get on base, on deck is the third baseman, Spencer Schock. Should he not, the Hardhats will transition from defense to offense. Top of the first inning here, men on the corners, 2 out. McGriff deals the 1-0 to McHugh. And that catches the outside corner for strike 1. Ball and a strike now the count. And it looks like moving from first to second was Paulson. So now 2 men are in scoring position here. For Missoula and for McHugh. 1-1 the count. Second and third, 2 outs. McGriff deals the 1-1. Low and away, and the pitch gets away from Haig. And coming in to score is Jovetic, and moving to third is Paulson. So a pass ball scores Jovetic, and Missoula now has a 1-0 lead with 2 outs here in the top of the first.
This goes back to those little errors that you don't want to make. You don't allow a run due to a pass ball or a wild pitch. That stuff you gotta tighten up if you want to try and win and go to split 2 for 2.
2-1 is inside for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike now the count from McGriff to McHugh. There's a man now on third. That is Hunter Paulson. He was hit by a pitch to get to first, stole for second. Basically defensive indifference. Pass ball moved him to third. Next pitch catches the outside corner for strike 2. And that's going to push the count full here. A huge payoff pitch again coming up from McGriff. He has a chance to end this inning. Strand a man 90 feet away from home. That man on third right now is Hunter Paulson. 2 outs, top of the first. Missoula up 1-0. Next pitch is high and away for ball 4. So there is another base runner allowed. Men on the corners for Spencer Schock, the third baseman, coming up, still with 2 outs.
Spencer Schock.
Comes back to getting back to that process. Just calm down. You've got men on the corners. This is still very early. Do what you know best and pitch away. And then he hits the batter. Spencer Schock is hit. That's 2 hit batters in this inning. Both of them coming with 2 outs, and now the bases are loaded. And Jason Hers, the pitching coach of this Hardhats club, comes out to have a little chat with McGriff.
Yeah, and McGriff having a little bit of control issues here early on. 2 hit batters and a walked batter here in just these last 3 to load the bases up. This is what you're talking about when you can't give anything for free. This is the hard part, that you have to just bear down, get this final out, get on the offensive side, try to even tie this game up, but you can't just be sitting here and giving free passes to these batters to get on base.
James Martin, the second baseman, now comes out with 2 outs and the bases loaded here in the top of the first. Quite a jam for McGriff starting off this game. He forced 2 outs, then hit a batter, walked a batter, then hit a batter. His first pitch is low and away, and it gets away from Haig. That is 2 pass balls that will allow a run to score. Coming in from third is Paulson, and now Missoula has a 2-0 lead. Everybody advances 90 feet. Now 2 runners in scoring position.
That's tough. That now takes away the force of any bag with 2 outs here and 2 runners in scoring position. A base hit would score 2. So you gotta be mindful here of the situation that you're in if you're this post 22 defense and Hayden McGriff.
Here comes a 1-0. And McGriff deals. That ball is hit right to Walker Paz. He makes a nice stop. Throw to first is in time. Well, damage was done by Missoula. 2 runs were scored in the inning on only 1 hit. 2 men were left on base. At the end of a half an inning, Missoula has a 2-0 lead, and now your post 22 Hardhats transition from defense to offense. We'll be right back with the bottom half of the first. Due up for your Hardhats, Walker Paz, Drake Messenger, and Zach Solano. We'll be right back on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City. Streamed live on the internet too at post22live.com.
Post 22-0.
Eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the...
This is Mark, the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about 2 wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center.
Frankie behind the plate. At first is John Mitchell. At second is James Martin. At short is Jacob Bierig. And at third in the hot corner is Spencer Schock. Left to right in the outfield, Hunter Paulson, Nicky Ovetich, and Derek Potter. So here comes Cunningham's first pitch to Paz. And that misses the zone low for ball 1. Walker Paz in the earlier game was 0 for 3, but he walked and came around to score when he did get on the base path earlier today against the Billings Royals. His 1-0, high and away, 2 balls, no strikes.
And he's very prone to those walks. He draws a lot of walks. He's very patient up in the batter's box and very picky about the pitches that he'll swing at.
Here comes his 2-0. Swung on and ripped into right field. Ball's got some pop on it, and the catch is made, however, by Derek Potter. 1 up, 1 down offensively for the Hardhats. Here comes Drake Messenger.
Real tough on that one. Walker got around on the pitch. He was able to pull the ball into, as a left-hand batter, he was pulled the ball into right field. However, he hit it right to Potter there in right field, not even having to take, I think, 3 steps maybe in. So Walker made very good contact and look for him to try and find a gap next time up.
Cunningham's first pitch to Drake Messenger is in there for strike 1. No balls and a strike early to Drake Messenger. Messenger went 1 for 4. He had a bunt single, got on the base path, and when he was on the base path, he came around to score against Billings earlier today. His next pitch is a weakly hit ball to the third. It's foul. I believe it went off of his foot. He does a little dance to shake it off. No balls, 2 strikes is count.
Yeah, you can always tell when it goes off somebody's foot. They do the little ballerina dance, and I don't care who you are on any team, you see the little dance because that hurts when you foul it right off the inside of your foot.
No balls, 2 strikes. Cunningham ahead, and he deals. Swung on and fouled again. Messenger protects the plate, and his count will remain no balls and 2 strikes. Following Drake Messenger is the DH, Zach Solano. 1 out here, bottom of the first. Hardhats down 2-0. Cunningham deals the 0-2. Breaking ball didn't break down. That'll be ball 1 up high against Messenger. Ball and 2 strikes to count.
Breaking ball didn't break a whole lot at all. That one just got left up. That's one of those pitches you have to just reset and deal with it and go to the next one.
Here comes the 1-2 to Messenger. That pitch is hit right to short. Stops made by Bierig. Throw to first is in time. 6-3 in the scorebook. 2 up and 2 down for the Hardhats. That's going to bring up Zach Solano, the DH.
Up to the plate for the Hardhats, designated hitter.
And here Solano is one of the leaders of this team. You're down 2 in this first inning. This is one gentleman that really needs to get that spark. We talked to Coach Messer. He said if this kid's not in the lineup, there's just something different about this team. So look for him to try to start something early here.
First pitch from Cunningham hangs up high. 1-0 the count. Zach Solano went 1 for 4 in the last game, had a 2-run RBI single. Back against Billings earlier this morning in what was a 6-2 win for the Hardhats. 1-0 from Cunningham is popped up. And it looks like it's going there to Martin at second. He's underneath it, makes the catch, and that'll do it. P4 in the scorebook ends what's a 1-2-3 inning offensively for the Hardhats, which unfortunately means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. And at the end of 1 full inning, the Missoula Mavericks have a 2-0 lead over your post-22 Hardhats. We'll get the gloves back, go to our respective defensive positions, and when we come back, Hayden McGriff will face 8-9-1 in the order. Clayton Frankie, Derek Potter, and Nick Jovetic. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post-22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, streamed live on the internet, post22live.com.
Honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like Post-22 Baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves Bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car.
Courtesy Subaru, Pioneer Bank and Trust, Pawn With Us, Shields, Demand Salon, and Advanced Dental. Top half of the second inning now coming up here at Joe Pertz Field in Billings, Montana. Beautiful 75 and sunny day here at the park. Hardhats down 2-0, back to the defense. And Hayden McGriff's first pitch to Clayton Frankie leading off the top half of the second is outside for ball 1. McGriff will face Clayton Frankie, the catcher, followed by Derek Potter out in right field, and then back to the top of the order to Nick Jovetic, the center fielder. McGriff back to it. Here's a 1-0. Low and away. That gets away from Haig. 2 balls, no strikes to count.
Just having a tough time here. The chemistry between Hayden McGriff and Sam Haig right now are off, and you got to have that between a pitcher-catcher duo right here. So they got to figure something out here as they get to the middle part of this ball game.
2-0 rides up high. That's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes now. The count from McGriff to Frankie. On deck, Derek Potter, the right fielder. First start of the year here from McGriff. Here's his 3-0. Just catches the outside corner. There's strike 1. 3 balls and a strike now. The count. It's also a very windy day here at the park as well. A lot of gusts coming into our booth here right behind home plate. 3 balls and a strike to count. Next pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2. Hayden McGriff has battled back in this count. Big payoff pitch coming up here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A full count. McGriff trying to get his second punch out of the day. Next pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the day for Hayden McGriff. There's 1 up, 1 down. Derek Potter now comes up. That was huge for McGriff. You're down 3-0, battle right back, and you get your second K.
Yeah, you definitely need that. As he struggled in that first inning, coming out, getting that strikeout early, look for him to close out the first time through this lineup strong.
Derek Potter fouls off his first pitch. No balls and a strike the count from McGriff. So 2 strikeouts now from McGriff. Struck out Jacob Beering, the second batter that he faced. And just struck out Clayton Frankie leading off this top half of the second. Here comes the 0-1. Ball rides up high and over the helmet of Potter. Ball and a strike now the count. One and 1 the count. And McGriff deals. Up high. 2 balls and a strike. There is nobody on the base path here in the top of the second. 1 out defensively for the Hardhats. They, however, trail 2-0 to the Missoula Mavericks. Here comes the 2-1. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. McGriff 1 pitch away from his 3rd punch out of the day.
And you can see McGriff coming out in this inning with a little more control, and that's what you want to see.
2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 3 Ks in the scorebook, 2 back-to-back in this top half of the second inning. That goes back to the top of the order to Nick Jovetic.
Center fielder Nick Jovetic.
Jovetic with the only hit of the game against McGriff to this point. He came around to score the first run of the game. So McGriff definitely understanding that, looking to attack the lefty here.
First pitch, low and inside, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Jovetic. As Teddy mentioned, he's 1 for 1. Came around to score the first of what are 2 runs on the board here for the Mavericks. McGriff right back to it. He's rolling. Here's his 1-0. Swung on and hit in the air to left field, giving chase his messenger. And it looks like the ball goes fouling out of play. So now the count evens up at a ball and a strike.
That was a little scary. It's 320 there to left, so it's not an overly deep ballpark, but Messenger was kind of running towards that corner, and that ball happened to carry foul. So a little heart attack there for the fans, but ended up being no damage and just a strike there for Jovetic.
Here's a 1-1. Jovetic shows bunt. Nothing comes of it, though. 2 balls and a strike now the count. We saw that a couple of times yesterday where Hardhats batters recognized that the corners of the infield were way deep, so you could get away with the bunt possibly in that scenario. Here's 2-1. Way outside. 3 balls and a strike now the count.
Yeah, and that's one thing you're taught, especially if you have speed. If you have speed and you're coming up, you can reach on a bunt. If you notice that third baseman is playing deep past the bag, you lay down a bunt. If you can get it past the pitcher, that's an infield hit every time.
3-1 is swung on and fouled off. That goes out of play. Once again, another payoff pitch here for McGriff. Pitch count's a little high here for almost 2 innings of work here for McGriff, but nonetheless, he's tried to battle back in counts where he's been behind.
Yeah, he's thrown 41 pitches, about to throw his 42nd in only the second inning, so he's not going to go super deep in this ball game. But if you can get 4 innings out of him in a 7-inning game, that's good enough from your starter.
3-2 is swung on and hit in the air to right center field. Chasing it is Cam Fees. He is on his horse. Connor King comes under it, and he makes the catch out in center field, and that will do it. F8 in the scorebook ends the inning. For the first time defensively in this game, the Hardhats have a 1-2-3 inning, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. And at the end of an inning and a half, the Hardhats still trail 2-0 and look to get on the board in the bottom half of the second. Due up for your Hardhats, 4, 5, and 6. Matt Vickers, Sam Haig, and Cam Fees. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, and streamed live on the web at post22live.com.
we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Matt Vickers now starts off the offensive side of things here in the bottom of the second inning for the Hardhats. His first pitch from Trevor Cunningham is swung on and hit in the air. Left center field. Ball has some distance on it. Two gentlemen try to converge to make the catch, and making a catch all the way from left field was Hunter Paulson. Matt Vickers showing off his strength. One pitch, one up, one down for the Hardhats. That's going to bring up Sam Haig.
Sam Haig.
Yeah, tough one there, and Vickers definitely has the power. We've seen it. We know he hit 4 or 5 home runs last season. You know he has the power to put it out to the wall, and that ball, he just got under it just a little bit, enough to leave it up there, but hit it into the gap. So look for him to try and get a little more of that ball and put it on the ground next time so he can get on base.
Sam Haig's first pitch is hit in the air to right field. Ball has some distance on it. Potter tracks, makes a dive, and he can't make the catch. The ball rolls by him all the way to the wall. Sam Haig is on his horse. He is going around for 3. Messer's giving him the goal signal. He is going for an inside the park home run, and he's got it. Sam Haig touches them all, showing off his speed. And the Hardhats are on the board. It's 2-1 here with one out in the bottom of the second.
Oh my goodness. And inside the park, Sam Haig, he was taken off out of the box, and as soon as he saw Potter dive and miss that, Haig was on his horse. He was head down, rolling all the way, and Coach Messer gave him that little extra boost at the end, just jumping around, and Sam Haig, a nice job inside the park home run to cut the Missoula lead in half.
So now here comes Cam Fees, another gentleman capable of doing the same thing, arguably the fastest base runner on this team. He fouls his first pitch directly behind home plate. So he'll start off with an 0-1 count here. 2-1 the score for the Hardhats. Sam Haig with an inside-the-park home run puts them on the board with one out here in the bottom of the second. Cunningham right back to it. Here's his 0-1 to Fees. Swung on and drilled hard, third base side, but foul. And quickly he is behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
And Cam Fees looking to do that same thing. Try to put it down the line, however, in left, but just went foul. Nice job. Cam Fees has been having a good weekend. He started off the season hot in Sheridan against Spearfish. So this is one of these kids that have really taken steps forward from last season to this season, and you can definitely tell just here early on. And he's only going to get better and better as the season continues to move forward. And this is one kid you really like to watch in the outfield because of his athleticism and can really smoke around these bases.
Cunningham deals his 0-2. That pitch is swung on and hit in the air to center. Jovedic is underneath it, and he makes a routine catch. F8 in the scorebook. That's 2 down now for the Hardhats. That's going to bring up Cooper Bowman, the shortstop.
And this early in the season, and you heard, and Coach Messers said this during the pregame, is he doesn't really care what goes on in the batter's box. He wants to see that your routine stays the same and that you make solid contact with the ball. That's what Cam Fees did. However, Jovedic was standing right there, didn't even have to move. His line drive straight to him.
Cooper Bowman swings at his first pitch, and that's hit in the air to shallow right field. Potter and Martin converge, and it looks like Martin makes the catch there from second, and that will end the bottom half of the second. Well, the Hardhats get 1 run on the second half of the inning there, and they have now cut their deficit in half to 2-1. They go now to the top of the third, back to the defensive, and they will face 2, 3, and 4 in the Missoula order. Jacob Bierig, John Mitchell, and Hunter Paulson. Run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care, on West Main, across from the guard camp.
This is Mark the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about two wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things.
For the third inning here at Joe Pertz Field, Hardhats trailing 2-1. Sam Haig stealing the show for the brief moments of this game. An inside the park home run to right field, showing off his speed. Now the Hardhats are on defense. Jacob Bierig leads off, followed by John Mitchell and Hunter Paulson. Bierig was the first of what are now 3 strikeouts here for Hayden McGriff, and he looks at a first pitch ball low and away. 1-0 the count for Bierig. Top half of the third inning just starting. Here's the next pitch, swung on and hit foul. That's going to even things at a ball and a strike.
And you really got to be impressed with Hayden McGriff and what he's done today. He struggled in that first inning, and that's the best way to put it, is he struggled. But he's just settled down and he's kept battling. He hasn't let it rattle him. He had a 1-2-3 inning last inning. He just keeps going and throwing strikes. That's what you like to see.
Here comes the 1-1 from McGriff. Pitch misses just high. 2 balls and a strike to count. Bierig up, 0 for 1. John Mitchell on deck is also 0 for 1. Hunter Paulson was hit by a pitch, came around to score the second of 2 runs for Missoula. Next pitch, that catches the corner, low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count from McGriff to Bierig. You're exactly right. He shook off those nerves 1-2-3 inning last inning. Hopes to repeat that again. Here comes his 2-2. Just missed outside, and that's going to push the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We had a couple of comments about pitch count earlier in the break.
Yeah, and the pitch count is getting up there. He's about 50 pitches. He's throwing his 48th right now, so you're going to be mindful that he's only going to go this inning or maybe the next.
Payoff pitch is a comebacker through Hayden's legs and in the middle, up the center for a base hit. So there's a hard-earned single there for Bierig. Now 1 for 2 on the afternoon. He's on first with nobody out. In the top half of the third, that's going to bring up John Mitchell.
And Mitchell grounded out to Cooper Bowman at short, his first at bat. And you want to see if that can happen again, because that double play could be turned. And he was a part of that we mentioned when he did ground out. Could have been a double play, but due to a pass ball, Jovedic at that time was able to advance.
Next pitch is lined right to Cooper Bowman, and the throw to first is in time. It is a 6 line out, 3 double play. Quickly, 2 outs defensively for the Hardhats. Here comes Hunter Paulson.
A heck of a job there by Cooper Bowman, and this is why he has his position. His bats are not going to overwhelm you. He's still a good hitter, but right there, his defense, his baseball IQ and his defense is just off the charts, and you got to like what you see.
Hunter Paulson's first pitch is low and away for ball 1. As we mentioned, Paulson was hit by a pitch and came around to score the second of what are 2 Missoula runs on the scoreboard. They have a 2-1 lead on the Hardhats. They had a man on first, but a L6-3 double play ended that threat. Here's the 1-0 now, and that pitch is ripped over the head of Walker Paz and into right field for a base hit. Cam Fees comes into field, gets his relay in. There's a single for Hunter Paulson with 2 outs. That's going to bring up Ryan McHugh, the DH.
Ryan McHugh walked in his first plate appearance, was stranded at third base, but you got to throw strikes to him, and that's what I'm saying as how Hayden McGriff has really come back to impress you these last 2 innings. He's been throwing strikes. He hasn't been getting deep in the count. You saw the full count early, but he's really staying with a couple balls and getting strikes thrown.
Next pitch is hit in the air to center field. Connor King charges, and he makes the catch, and that's going to end the inning. So no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left on base here in the top half of the third. And after 2 scoreless innings allowed by the Hardhats, they trail 2-1 and now go back to the sticks in the bottom half of the third. Due up for the Hardhats, 8-9-1. Connor King, who just made that last out, Justin Kramer, and then back to the top of the order to Walker Paz. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, and stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
With walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family, Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like post-22 baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342.
Bottom half of the third inning now coming up, and the Hardhats will take to the sticks. Connor King, who ended the top half of the third inning on a nice defensive play in center field, will be the leadoff hitter for this inning. It's Connor King at center, followed by Justin Kramer, the third baseman, and it's back to Walker Paz at the top of the order. He is 0 for 1 on the day. Trevor Cunningham still on the mound here for Missoula. His first pitch to Connor King is in the dirt for ball 1.
And we were talking about pitch count last inning, and we're going to bring up Cunningham's. After 2 innings, he threw 16 pitches. Now 17 with that one, but now in this lineup, we're getting to the third inning. Start taking a few pitches and making that pitch count get higher so you can see the bullpen of this Missoula team.
And Connor King takes another pitch. That's low for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes, his count. Connor King was the first MVP award you handed out to start off this season. Next pitch, that one's in there for a strike. 2 balls and a strike now the count. 2-1 now the count here for Connor King. Bottom half of the third. Hardhats trail 2-1. Sam Hay got an inside the park homer in the last inning. King looks at ball 3 up high. 1 pitch away from getting on the base path.
And this is what I'm talking about. These are the at-bats that you need to get that pitch count up and to be able to take this pitcher out of the game early and take out the advantage.
3-1. Up high, ball 4. So Connor King showing some great patience at the plate. He'll go to first on a base on balls. Here comes Justin Kramer hitting in the 9-hole.
Yeah, and Kramer made himself a real case for the MVP last game, but just got beat. McSherry came in to do a little too much, but Kramer, we were talking with his mom and dad before the game, just having a heck of a weekend, and you really like what you see from this kid, and you hope he can continue it in this game as he gets his first plate appearance.
Connor King goes. First pitch to Kramer is hit right to third. Stops made on the play by Schock. Throw to first is not in time. The ball was bobbled. And Connor King, with some smart base running, was already taking off for second. He immediately rounded when the throw was made to go to third. So Justin Kramer's safe at first. Connor King's all the way on third base. And now here comes Walker Paz with nobody out and men on the corners here in the bottom of the third.
And the hit and run was on. Kramer probably would have taken that pitch if it wasn't, but Coach Messer gave the hit and run. That's why you saw Connor King take off right away. And I don't know if Kramer would have been thrown out anyway. That was a tough play there by Schock at third as he had to dive, but Kramer was already towards the bag. I think that's going to be ruled as a hit anyway because Kramer's already hauling down the base path.
And I think that's what the conferencing in the room here is right now, is that's going to be an infield single. First pitch comes to Walker Paz. That's in there for strike 1. He has men on the corners and nobody out here in the bottom of the third. The Hardhats 90 feet away from tying this game up at 2.
And look for Kramer with no outs to be set in motion here. You want 2 runners in scoring position.
And there's a check down to first to try and avoid that. Very well timed there, Teddy.
Well, I mean, it's the situationals you're talking about, and Cunningham understands that as well, so he thinks Kramer's going to be taken off, so he's going to try and pick him off, but look at that, Kramer's going.
Kramer goes, pitches low and inside. Throw goes to the pitcher. They weren't even going to make an attempt at second. They were going to try and see if Connor King would go home. He stayed stationary. So Justin Kramer heads on to second. Now both gentlemen are in scoring position on second and third with nobody out. Walker Paz now has a 1-1 count to deal with.
Oh, yeah, you try to bait that runner at third. You chuck it back to the pitcher hard, thinking you're throwing it to second, and then try to get him to get something, but Connor King not fooled by it.
Next pitch is low and away. 2 balls and a strike now the count to Paz. He has Connor King 90 feet away from home at third. He has Justin Kramer 180 feet away from home at second. Trevor Cunningham, the starting pitcher for Missoula, checks both runners. 2-1 is low and in the dirt, however, stopped by Frankie behind the plate. 3 balls and a strike now the count to Paz. He's one pitch away from loading up the bases for Drake Messenger, who's on deck. No outs here, bottom of the third. Hardhats trying to tie this game up. Right now they're down 2-1. However, they have a chance with one swing to take a 3-2 lead. Here's a 3-1. That pitch is ripped. Nice stop on the play made by Mitchell at first. And he will get the 3 unassisted put out there to hold the runners both at second and third. 1 out, and that's going to bring up Drake Messenger.
Yeah, that's a tough play there. Walker Paz making very good contact with that ball. However, Mitchell with the diving stop right down the line. If that would have got past Mitchell, you could have seen Paz getting that triple, base clearing triple, but Mitchell getting that first out and holding the runners at second and third.
Drake Messenger calls for time before he takes his first pitch from Trevor Cunningham. Looks in for a signal there on the third base side from head coach Mitch Messer. So here comes Messenger. He's 0 for 1. Was involved in a 6-3 putout. His first pitch rides inside, and that's going to start him off at a 1-0 count. Zach Solano was on deck, had a pop out to second base when he was first up.
And you see the infield shifted here for Missoula. They're trying to stop that run. They don't want to allow this game to get tied up. So a blooper in the hole could really turn into a good play.
Next pitch, Messenger almost wore it. Goes a little too far inside, and he does not wear it on his jersey. 2 balls, no strikes is count.
And Drake Messenger, who's a ground ball hitter, if he gets one of those, that could turn a routine ground ball into a base hit. So that's a gamble you pay when you shift your infield in on the edge of the grass.
2-0 is swung on and hit in the air to left center field. Underneath it is Jovetic, and he makes the catch. Tagging up from third is Connor King. He is on his horse going home, and the throw is not going to get there. So it is an RBI sac fly for Drake Messenger. The Hardhats have tied this game up at 2, with now 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
A nice job getting that sac fly. You tie the game up now. Now you can go and look for Solano to get a base hit to try and score Kramer from second.
Good on this Hardhats team to battle back. You gave up 2 runs in what was a pretty long top of the first inning. 1 run in the bottom of the second, 1 run in this bottom of the third. You're right back in it. 2-2's the score now. Here comes Solano, 0 for 1 on the day. 2 outs, bottom of the third. His first pitch is fouled directly behind home plate. No balls and a strike, his starting count. The gentleman he has on second is Justin Kramer, and we've been talking about this ever since we met the young gentleman. Probably the most intelligent base runner around this ball club.
Yeah, he understands the situationals, understands what he's in, and he knows with 2 outs here. As soon as he hears the crack of that bat, he's going.
Next pitch, breaking ball. That one does come into the zone. That's strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes the count to Solano. Cunningham is 1 pitch away from stranding a Rapid City runner in scoring position and ending this threat. Kramer is on second. Here comes the 0-2 to Solano. Pitch is swung on and absolutely destroyed left field side, but it goes fouling out of play. And that will hold him at a no balls and 2 strikes count.
A nice piece of hitting there from Solano, and that's hard to understand as it was a foul ball, but it was the inside pitch that was so far. It could have been called, and all he could do is really turn on that so much to put it foul.
0-2 is swung on and popped foul, but that's going to go out of play behind the fence. Still no balls and 2 strikes the count here to Solano. This is a good battle here for him, too. We talk about getting deep into counts. Well, if you keep fouling off pitches, you're going to frustrate a pitcher number 1. You're going to run his pitch count up.
And he's going to be more liable to make a mistake, leave one over the plate, and give you something to hit.
Here comes the 0-2. Swung on and drilled into left center field. That ball's got some distance on it. It is high and it is far, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Kramer's going to score from second. Zach Solano slows up. He has a 2-out RBI stand-up double, and the Hardhats now have a 3-2 lead here with 2 outs in the bottom of the third.
That is that mistake that I was just talking about before he hit the ball. You keep fouling these pitches off, and then Cunningham left one over the plate, and Solano made him pay for it. It was over the inner part of the plate. Solano just absolutely crushed that ball to the deepest part of this ballpark, and now switch places there with Kramer with an RBI double.
Here comes Matt Vickers now. His first pitch is high and outside for ball 1. Vickers started off the second inning flying out to left. Gentleman playing first base for the Hardhats today looks at ball 1 for that first pitch. So he has Zach Solano on second in scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Hardhats up 3-2. His 1-0 rides low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Should Matt Vickers safely get on the base path, Sam Haig is on deck, and he had that inside the park home run just an inning ago. Really sparked this Hardhats offense over the last 2 innings. 2 balls, no strikes from Cunningham. Here's the pitch. That one hits the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Good breaking ball there from Cunningham.
Yeah, and Cunningham, the right-handed pitcher with that breaking ball, it breaks to the left-handed hitter in Vickers, and that actually is a little advantage here for Vickers being the left-handed hitter.
Here's the 2-1. That pitch is swung on and hit into right field. That's a base hit. Solano is going to go home, and the throw is not going to get there. So it's a 2-out RBI single there for Matt Vickers. The Hardhats have now doubled their lead from 1 run to 2. It is 4-2 now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
And pushing 3 runs across here in the bottom of the third. This is what this team needed. You were kind of worried what you were going to get in that first inning, but they stood up, came back, and really got the sticks moving here. And this is what you like to see, an RBI single from Vickers. Now here with 2 outs, Sam Hague is looking to continue the success he had in his first plate appearance.
Inside the park home run for Hagen. He looks at his first pitch low and away for ball 1. 1-0 is the count for Sam Hague. Should he safely get on base, on deck is Cam Fees, who flew out to center last time he was up in the second. Next pitch, breaking ball rides inside. 2 balls and no strikes now to Hague. He has Matt Vickers on first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Hardhats have plated 3 in this inning. They now have a 4-2 lead over the Missoula Mavericks. Cunningham back from the stretch. Here comes 2-0. Low and away, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes the count now to Sam Hague. Back-to-back RBI base hits here for the Hardhats. RBI double for Solano, RBI single for Vickers. Next pitch on Hague is in there for strike 1, so he'll have to see another pitch. 3 balls and a strike now the count. Vickers takes that lead off of first. Cunningham back to the stretch. Here's 3-1. Pitch is low for ball 4. So Sam Hague will walk to first. He's been on the base path both times he's been in the batter's box. Matt Vickers will advance 90 feet to second. 2 on, 2 out. Here comes Cam Fees.
Well, you could kind of say he's been on the base path because he ran around it and made it home in that first at-bat with that in the park. I still can't get over it. That was so cool. That was awesome. And you could see on his face he was pumped when he came around the home plate. He was doing the fist pump and everything. That's what you like to see.
And you and I were talking in the commercial break shortly after that. That's the first inside the Parker we've ever seen from both the opponent and the Hardhats in the almost 2 years we've been doing this.
Yeah, we've seen just about anything you could think of, and now we can cross the home run off the list now, or the inside the park home run. Now I think the only thing we'll be waiting for is a perfect game, but that'll still be interesting to see if we could ever see something like that.
One step at a time. Here comes Cam Fees. His first pitch is hit in the air to left field. Underneath it is Hunter Paulson. He tracks it and he makes the catch, and that's going to end it. So the Hardhats strike for 3 runs in this inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on. And at the end of 3 full innings, the Hardhats now have the lead. It is at 4-2. And now they go back to the defensive side of things to start off the top half of the fourth. Leading off for the Missoula Mavericks in the top of the fourth is Spencer Schock, and he's followed by James Martin and Clayton Frankie in the order. We'll be right back, folks, after a quick recess here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
23280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves Bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Where will you find...
Scoring change for you, by the way, in the scorebook. The last half inning there, bottom of the third, the Hardhats had 3 runs on 2 hits and error and left 2 men on the base path. And so now we go ahead and transition to the top of the 4th inning. The Hardhats back in their defensive positions. Spencer Schock, James Martin, and Clayton Frankie due up for the Missoula Mavericks. Aiden McGriff still on the mound for this Hardhats club. And he deals his first pitch. Low and away. skips into the chain link fence behind home plate. Ball and no strikes to count here to Spencer Schock. He was one of the 2 batters that Hayden McGriff had hit back in that first inning. Unfortunate turn of events, but since then both he and the rest of his Hardhats club have rebounded.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been throwing strikes. He's been hitting his spots, and that's all you can ask for in the starting pitcher.
1-0 gets in there for strike 1 on the outside corner. Ball and a strike now, the count to Spencer Schock. Next pitch for Schock goes low. 2 balls and a strike now the count. Schock was stranded at second after he was hit by that pitch. He got to first, was advanced to second. Next pitch is swung on and hit to the middle infield. There's Walker Paz with a nice stop. Throw to first in time. 4-3 in the scorebook for the Hardhats defensively. 1 up, 1 down. Here comes James Martin, the second baseman, also 0 for 1.
Come at the second baseman.
And he grounded out to Walker Paz as well, so he understands exactly how that is. Not to mention he's also the second baseman, so he understands how that is. And now you're looking for that same result. And the fact that McGriff can place his breaking ball so well outside and low, that's why he gets so many ground balls to Walker.
First pitch is low and away. There's ball 1 to Martin. 1-0 his starting count. All comes full circle with the second baseman relationship there.
Well, first I'd point out Cam Fees and his 2-0 count and wearing number 20. Now it's the second baseman correlation. I'm just on a roll this weekend.
There you go. 1-0 is hit in the air foul, first base side and out of play. That's going to even things at a ball and a strike. You are correct about the command of that breaking ball. Coach Messer even said of this pitching staff, some of them have more command of their breaking pitches than they do their fastballs. Here comes the 1-1 now to Martin. Swung on and hit to the other side of the middle infield to Cooper Bowman. Nice stop to him there. Throw to first is in time. 4-3, 6-3 are the 2 outs recorded already for 2 batters here for the Missoula Mavericks. 2 up, 2 down. Here comes Clayton Frankie, 0 for 1, one of the strikeout victims of Hayden McGriff.
Yeah, one of the 3 strikeout victims there for Hayden McGriff. And this is just what I'm telling you when Hayden McGriff's just been throwing strikes. He's retired 7 out of the last 8 batters in a row, and that's all you need is just strikes, strikes, strikes.
Speaking of strikes, there's strike 1 on a swing and a miss. No balls and a strike to starting count here for Clayton Frankie. Should he somehow get on base, on deck is Derek Potter, the 3rd of the 3 strikeout victims we were talking about earlier. Next pitch to Frankie is another swing and a miss on a pitch low and away. No balls and 2 strikes the count. And now here comes Hayden McGriff, 1 pitch away from his second 1-2-3 inning out of 4. He looks into Sam Haig, and he gets his sign. Here comes the 0-2. Low and away. Frankie held up and did not go fishing. Ball and 2 strikes. He'll see another pitch. Leading off the bottom half of the 4th for the Hardhats, 7, 8, and 9, Cooper Bowman, Connor King, and Justin Kramer. Should the next pitch end the inning. Here's the 1-2 to Frankie. Caught him looking on the outside corner, strike 3. And that will end things defensively for the Hardhats. It's a 1-2-3 inning, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. And at the end of 3.5, the Hardhats have protected their 4-2 lead and go ahead and look to expand it. The bottom half of the 4th. 7, 8, and 9, Cooper Bowman, Connor King, and Justin Kramer due up for your Hardhats. We'll be right back, folks, with the bottom half of the 4th here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and stream live on the internet, post22live.com.
Black Hills State University graduates everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at InVision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. InVision Optical and Eye Care on West.
All set now for the bottom half of the 4th inning here at Joe Pertz Field in absolutely sunny and gorgeous Billings, Montana. Hardhats have a 4-2 lead over the Missoula Mavericks, and now go back to the sticks. Cooper Bowman, Connor King, and Justin Kramer due up here in the bottom of the 4th. It is a gorgeous Mother's Day to not only celebrate the contribution of our awesome mothers, but to celebrate with some great baseball here as well. Just a gorgeous day. Cooper Bowman looks at strike one inside. No balls and a strike to count. Cooper Bowman 0 for 1. Popped out to second last time he was up. Next pitch to Bowman, rides up high. There's a ball and a strike. We saw the defensive prowess of Cooper Bowman. Let's see if he can get the bat moving. Trevor Cunningham still on the mound here for the Missoula Mavericks. Here comes his 1-1. Rides inside, almost clipped Cooper Bowman, but it did not. So that will be ball 2, 2-1 now the count.
And Cooper Bowman still trying to find his swing early on in the season. He's had some success here and there, but you're looking for him to get that consistent success.
2-1, that catches the zone low for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count to Bowman, playing in the 6th position there for the Hardhats at short. On deck is Connor King. Walked last time he was up and came around to score. Here comes 2-2. Bowman hits that one high in the air to left field. Tracking underneath it is Hunter Paulson, and he makes the catch. F7 in the scorebook, 1 up, 1 down offensively for the Hardhats. Here comes Connor King.
Connor King came around to score in his last at-bat, and of course, we almost bring this up, he was the first recipient this season of the MVP award in our post-game show, so Connor King is definitely turning some heads coming up. He's a young kid. This is his first year at the hard hat level, and you're looking for him to continue success.
Bowman shows bunt, and he lays it down, but unfortunately foul third base side. So 0-1 the count here from Connor King. On deck is Justin Kramer. He reached on an error. That was the hit that was rescored, the error there. But he still came around to score. That was the second of what was 3 runs for the Hardhats last inning. 0-1 to Connor King. And the lefty looks at ball 1 outside. Ball and a strike to count. 2 lefties in the next 3 batters. Connor King 1. Walker Paz. The next one should he come up in this inning. Here comes the 1-1. That pitch is low and inside for strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Catches the zone.
And you see our home plate referee in Cam Bjorstedt has a pretty low strike zone, and you got to adjust to that. We've seen a couple of our hitters kind of shaking their heads, but you got to adjust to it this late in the ball game.
Next pitch was outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count. Cunningham right back to it, and he deals. Next pitch rides inside. That's going to push the count full here. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Connor King. 1 pitch away from another walk and getting back on the base path once again. He was the tying run that was scored in the bottom half of the 3rd. Payoff pitch from Cunningham. Here's the 3-2. Low, ball 4. And there's Connor King with great patience at the plate. 2 walks for him now on the day. Here comes Justin Kramer with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
And Kramer, he wants to get a base hit now here. He got it taken away from him, and it was rescheduled in there. It was kind of, it was a close play, and I agree with him that it was an error. So now he's looking to poke one in the outfield and really make sure that there's no question in his mind that, he's making it on base and he's earning that.
King has to retreat to first on a check down from Cunningham, and he is safe. So as you mentioned, Justin Kramer 0 for 1 reaching on that error. On deck is Walker Paz. There's another check down to first. This Missoula team learned the first time that Connor King's very smart on the base path. Made it from first to third on that error sequence. Here comes the first pitch to Kramer. Connor King goes, pitches in the dirt, and we're not going to get a throw. Again, solid base running by Connor King. He is now on second. 1-0 the count here to Kramer.
And that's now the 2nd stolen base of the game, and that is now the 5th stolen base between the 2 games, and we're not even through this 2nd game, so this post-22 team aggressive.
Kramer shows bunt, and he lays it down third base side, turns on his jet, stops made by shock throw to first, is not in time. What a great bunt by Justin Kramer. That advances Connor King to third. Once again for Walker Paz, it's men on the corners with 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th. The Hardhats are just on a roll.
Yeah, Kramer is probably one of the best at getting those infields hit. He's so fast, so smart. He understands when he laid that bunt down, he had to get it past Cunningham and to Shock if he had any chance of being safe. And Shock had a good throw over, good strong throw. But Kramer able to beat it out. Now he got that hit. There was that infield single for him.
Kramer goes. Next pitch is in there for strike one. There's not going to be a throw to second. Cunningham cut it off again, trying to bait Connor King into coming home. Didn't work the first time. Definitely didn't work that time. No balls and a strike to count here to pause, and now he has 2 men in scoring position. Yogi Berra once famously said that's deja vu all over again. Second and third. Cunningham deals the 0-1. That pitch misses the zone low, and that evens it at a ball and a strike.
And Kramer now has 3 stolen bases today, 1 in the last game and 2 in today's game, right, or in the game that we're watching right now. So this kid's just moving around the base path, causing havoc.
Next pitch to pause is turned on, but it's shot foul, right field side and out of play. So now he goes behind to the count, a ball and 2 strikes. On deck for pause is Drake Messenger. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Paz has 2 men in scoring position. Cunningham ahead, though, 1-2. Checks the runners, and he deals. Paz hits it foul. That goes out of play. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I want to touch. Kramer has had 4 stolen bases in as many games in 2 days. So this kid's just getting around the base path. He's going to rack up a very, very good amount there by the end of the season.
1-2 to pause. Breaking ball doesn't break down. That's going to even the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes up high.
And now you see Cunningham. He's about to throw his 64th pitch. So he caught up to Hayden McGriff, who's been super efficient the last couple innings. Cunningham not so much, been getting teed off on with a long inning in the 3rd and now in the 4th. So look at him. He might be run out quick.
2-2 is swung on and hit to second. Stops made on the play by Martin. Throw to first is in time. In the ensuing sequence of events, Justin Kramer moves to third, which means Connor King comes home. So it's an RBI 4-3 ground out for Walker Paz. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 4th. Hardhats have extended their lead to 5-2.
Stepping into the box.
A nice job there by Walker Paz, and he's about one of the hitters that you want up there because you want a ground ball to the right side of the infield to that first and second side, and that will allow the runner to come in from third. Walker Paz did that perfectly in RBI 4-3. Gotta love it.
Drake Messenger's up now. He hits 1 to third. Stops made by Schock. Throw to first is in time, and that will end it on a 5-3 putout. So the Hardhats get a run on a hit. No errors, and a man left on the base path. And at the end of 4 full innings, the Hardhats now have a 5-2 lead. 5 unanswered runs over the last 3 innings have put them ahead of the Missoula Mavericks. Back to the defense we go. Top of the 5th inning. And the Hardhats and Hayden McGriff will see 9, 1, and 2 in the order. Derek Potter, followed by Nick Jovetic, the leadoff hitter, and then Jacob Beering, the shortstop. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, and streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
Across from the
This is Mark the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about 2 wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center.
Pioneer Bank and Trust, Pawn with Us, Shields, The Man Salon, and Advanced Dental. Derek Potter fouls off his first pitch to go to an 0-1 count to start off the top half of the 5th inning. His Missoula squad currently trailing to the Hardhats 5-2. And there's another strike there to Potter, so no balls and 2 strikes, quickly his count leading off this inning. It'll be Derek Potter, the 9-hitter, followed by the leadoff and Nick Jovetic, and then Jacob Beering, the shortstop. Here comes the 0-2 from McGriff. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That is K number 5 for Hayden McGriff in this game. 1 up, 1 down. That's going to bring us back to the leadoff hitter, Nick Jovetic.
Nick Jovetic.
And he's now struck out the 8 and 9 spot hitters in Clayton Frankie and Derek Potter all 4 times that he has seen them in this ball game.
Here comes the first pitch to Jovetic. That is low and inside for ball 1. Oh, no, it hit him. And he is going to first.
And I think that clipped him down by the foot region. You saw it go down there, and kind of tough when it's that low and it'll come off your foot. That's hard as a pitcher to accept those, but still a little damage done. If you can get a ground ball out here by Beering, then you'll still be in plenty, and you'll still be just fine.
Third hit batter of the day for McGriff, but that's his first one since that top half of the first inning. He's settled in. First pitch is high and outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Beering. He is 1 for 2. He was the first strikeout victim of the day of the 5 for McGriff. And then he singled the last time he was up. Check down to first doesn't get there in time, so Beering has yet to see a second pitch. 1-0 his count. Should a double play not end this inning, John Mitchell, the first baseman's on deck. There's another check down to first, not there in time. Beering's going to have to wait on the second pitch. 1 ball, no strikes to count here from Beering. Next pitch, that's in there for a strike. Now we're even at a ball and a strike here for Beering. 1-2 on the day. Hayden McGriff still on the mound. Checks the runner at first. That's Jovetic. McGriff takes his time. Check down to first. Not there in time.
Real worried about Jovetic and the speed there at first. You don't want to give him that base to get into scoring position, and you also don't want to take away that double play ball, so keeping him close. A nice job there by McGriff on the bump.
Next pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to left center field. That ball's got some distance on it, and Messenger watches it go all the way to the wall. Jovetic is going to come around to score all the way from first, and into second with a stand-up RBI double is Jacob Beering. And now the Missoula Mavericks have cut their deficit from 5-2 to 5-3 with 1 out here in the top of the 5th.
And McGriff left one up in the zone there, and Beering made him pay. He turned on it, and we haven't seen one put out. We've seen countless off that fence today from both the Hardhats hitters and the opposing hitters, but, you know, that one off the wall, and Jacob Beering now on second base, cut into that lead. Real tough, able to turn on that pitch and send it for a ride.
First pitch from McGriff to Mitchell is low for ball 1. And the speed of Jovetic on the base path from first all the way home. He had it in his mind while the ball was in mid-flight that he was going home no matter what. So here comes Mitchell now at the plate. Man on second, his 1-0 is swung on and chopped to third. Kramer gets the stop, holds the runner at second. Throw to first is in time. Vickers had to stretch a bit for that one, still gets the put out. 5-3 in the scorebook, and that keeps, the most important thing is that keeps Beering on second. Still in scoring position, but now 2 out for the Hardhats. Here comes Hunter Paulson.
Yeah, it was a real nice job there by Justin Kramer to stare down Beering on second base, make sure he wasn't going anywhere, and then have the wherewithal and the arm strength to whip it over to Vickers and get that out.
McGriff looks in for that first pitch. High and outside, ball 1 to Paulson. Paulson's 1 for 1. He was hit by a pitch, came around to score the second of what are now 3 runs for the Mavericks. Singled the last time he was up in the top half of the third. He has Beering on second, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Missoula now down 5-3, plated a run in this inning. McGriff's next pitch catches the outside corner. There's a strike. Ball and a strike now to count for Paulson. Should he safely get on base, on deck is Ryan McHugh, the designated hitter. 5-3 the Hardhats lead, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. McGriff checks the runner and Beering on second. And he deals. Breaking ball does not break into the zone. Up high it is, 2 balls and a strike.
Just a little too high, but you know, you always talk about how the zone is usually from your chest to your knees. Well, it's kind of shrunk down a little bit from about your midsection to your knees, but you know, if that would have been back in the 90s, that probably would have been a strike.
Next pitch from McGriff is fouled directly behind home plate, and that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That just makes me sound a little too old, and I'm only 22. But back in my day, that might have been a strike. No,
come on, I'm too off my 30s here. Don't give me that right now. I'm too off my 30s. You still have plenty of youth ahead of you. My goodness.
Yeah, but just going that strike zone kind of lowered. It's kind of going lower than the knees too. It's almost on the shins now.
2-2 is low and in the dirt. That's going to push the count full. Beering does not try to advance to third. So he's still on second here. Big payoff pitch coming for McGriff to Paulson. And should Paulson get on the base path, Ryan McHugh will be the next batter. Should he not get on the base path, that means he either fouled or he was punched out, and that would end the inning. The latter of those two scenarios, that is. McGriff checks the runner at second. Here comes the 3-2. Low, ball 4. And so he's going to take a trip to first there. So now it's Hunter Paulson on first. Jacob Bierig on second. And that's going to bring up Ryan McHugh.
And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. The day of Hayden McGriff ends after 75 pitches and 4 2/3 innings.
You're absolutely right. So we'll go ahead and take a quick break here, folks, to see just exactly who the new hurler is for the Hardhats. We'll try and give you the story on who is now on the mound next for your Post 22 club. We'll be right back after a quick 30 seconds here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like Post 22 Baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves Bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Hunter Paulson walked to first. Solid outing there for Hayden McGriff, though. 4 2/3 innings and 75 pitches of work.
Yep, and he allowed 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, but he also did hit 3 batters as well. But 2 of those came in the very first inning of the hit batters, and now he really settled down, really came back, and had a strong outing to give Post 22 this 5-3 lead that they see here in the top of the 5th inning.
Well, Hayden McGriff is still responsible for the 2 runners that are on the base path right now. Hopefully none of them come across. Moore's first pitch gets away from Haig inside. It hits him. That hits McHugh. And the umpire made sure to call dead ball, and he tells Bierig, hey, wait a second, buddy, get back to third. So that's going to load the bases up. So an unfortunate first pitch there for Will Moore. Loads the bases now for Spencer Schock. So it's Bierig on third, Paulson on second, McHugh on first. 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th. Moore just has to shake off that first pitch. And the runner goes. And then immediately retreats. Interesting turn of events
You think Paulson didn't really understand the situation there as Bierig was on third base, tried to go back.
Moore's next pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1's the count to Spencer Schock. He's 0 for 1. He was hit earlier, and then he grounded out. Next pitch rides up high from Will Moore. It's his first appearance of the year for this Hardhats club. Here comes his next pitch. That's outside. 3 balls and a strike now to count.
And the last thing you want in this situation is to come in, hit a batter, and then walk in a run, because that's just unfortunate.
3-1 is hit to left. And underneath it was Messenger, and he makes the catch, and the Hardhats avoid absolute disaster and leave 3 gentlemen on the base path for the Missoula Mavericks. A huge catch there by Messenger out in left field, and that will do it for the top half of the 5th. The Hardhats lead is still intact, however, it went from 3 runs down to 2. 1 run was scored here in the top of the 5th by Missoula on 1 hit. No errors, and the base is left loaded. And at the end of 4 1/2, the Hardhats now have a 5-3 lead and go back to offense. Leading off for the Hardhats, Zach Solano, followed by Matt Vickers and Sam Haig. We'll be right back, folks, with the bottom of the 5th here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and streaming live on post22live.com.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a...
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Bottom half of the 5th inning now coming up here at Joe Pertz Field.
Zach Solano.
A Mother's Day doubleheader for this Hardhats club. Up 5-3 now, back to offense. Trevor Cunningham still on the mound here for the Missoula Mavericks, and he deals a first pitch ball to Zach Solano, who leads off the bottom half of the 5th. Zach Solano followed by Matt Vickers and then Sam Haig. Here comes the 1-0 from Cunningham. Rides up high. 2 balls, no strikes to Solano.
Cunningham now about to throw his 68th pitch of the game. You got to think how when the stamina comes into play, he still has a little bit left, but this might be his last inning of work.
Next pitch to Solano is hit hard in the air to left field. That ball's got some distance, and it goes all the way to the wall. Solano is rounding first. He is going into second, and he has a stand-up double. So that's 2 doubles now for Solano, who is 2 for 3. The first time he knocked in a few runs. This next time, he leads things off on the offense for the Hardhats. Here comes Matt Vickers.
Yeah, and his hit was about in the same spot. You go about maybe 20 feet to the right, but both of them hit right to the fence. Very good contact. 2 back-to-back stand-up doubles. So that's what you like to see from your 3-hole hitter.
Vickers shows bunt, tries to lay it down third base side, but it just rolls foul. No balls and a strike to starting count here for the reigning South Dakota American Legion Player of the Year, who is now in the batter's box for the 3rd time in this game. 1 for 2, had an RBI single last time he was up in that big bottom of the 3rd inning for the Hardhats, where they scored 3 of their 5 runs. Cunningham to his stretch, checks Solano at second. Here comes the 0-1 to Vickers. That's outside. Ball and a strike now the count. On deck is Sam Haig. Here in this bottom half of the 5th, Hardhats have a 5-3 lead and a man in scoring position on second. Next pitch to Vickers, low and away. 2 balls and a strike now his count.
Sam Haig got all the scoring started with that inside the park home run, and you got to credit how animated this offensive lineup is for the Post 22 Hardhats. Kind of back to that, because that was just a spark.
2-1 to Vickers is fouled into the fencing right next to us. Count evens up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Vickers here looking to protect. He's going to shorten his swing a little bit now that he has 2 strikes on him, but look for Cunningham's going to go right at him with 2 balls. He's going to come with that fastball, and Vickers a fastball hitter.
Next pitch is swung on a chopped foul first base side, and the count will hold at 2-2. Matt Vickers has Zach Solano on second. Sam Haig in the on-deck circle. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the 5th. Hardhats up 2. 5-3 is the score. Cunningham from the stretch. Here's a 2-2. That's low, misses the zone. And now Vickers pushes the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big pitch coming up here for Cunningham. His afternoon's close to being over. He's been pitching since the start of this game. Here comes the payoff. Swung on and destroyed. Foul. That was a very well-hit ball, but it goes foul first base side. Payoff pitch number 2 coming up.
Yeah, Cunningham throwing his 76th pitch right now, and he'll probably see him through this inning, but also this is the 4th game in 2 days. You got to wonder how much pitching they have left. That's why they're letting him go deep in this game and getting his pitch count, trying to test to see how much his arm could take.
Payoff number 2 is swung on and hit high in the air to center field. Underneath it is Jovetic. He has to track it to left center, and he makes the catch. Solano thought about going to third, but instead he holds up, and he will remain on second. So there's an F8 in the scorebook. 1 down for the Hardhats with a man in scoring position on second. Sam Haig now back up to the batter's box. He's made it safely to the base path both times he's been up. That inside the park home run we're still raving about, and then he walked the last time he was up.
Yeah, he's having a good day. 1 for 1, a home run, an RBI, a walk, a run scored. Just good, filling the stat sheet.
First pitch to Haig, a swung on and hit to left field. Paulson tries to track right at the foul line. He makes the catch. 2 quick outs here on the offensive side for the Hardhats. Zach Solano still stays on second, and here comes Cam Fees.
Cam Fees 0 for 2 up to this point. Flew out to Paulson in right, and also Jovetic in center field, respectfully, in his first 2 at-bats. So he's still looking for his first hit of the ball game, but he's also had a good start to the season. He's definitely capable of putting one out there.
First pitch to Fees is swung on and hitting to left field. That's a base hit. Solano's going to get the stop sign at third, so he will advance 90 feet to third base. Cam Fees is in with a 2-out single on his first pitch, and that's going to bring up Cooper Bowman, who's 0 for 2.
Nice job. I couldn't have timed that any better. Talking about Cam Fees looking for his first hit. Well, boom, he got it right between Schock and Bierig there at third and short. So now Coop Bowman, a good opportunity here with 2 outs to try and bring Solano that last 90 feet, bring him in to score and extend this post-22 lead to 3.
Now it's men on the corners and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th for Cooper Bowman. Hopefully Teddy's clairvoyance kicks in here. He's still looking for his first hit. Popped out to second, flew out to left. Runner goes. Pitch is thrown. It's outside. And once again, we're going to get a cutoff throw towards second. So there's Cam Fees with a stolen base. Absolutely of no surprise to anybody who knows anything about Cam Fees and his lightning fast speed on the base path. So now Cooper Bowman has a 1-0 count. And 2 men in scoring position here with 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Next pitch to Bowman is swung on and chopped to second. Making the stop there is Martin. Throw to first is in time. That's going to end it. 4-3 putout ends the threat for the Hardhats, who get no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on the base path. And at the end of 5 full innings, they still remain on top. 5-3 is the score. Back to defense. They go. We'll be right back, folks, in just a few moments here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the guard camp.
This is Mark the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about 2 wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents...
James Martin's going to lead off things in the top half of the 6th for the Missoula Mavericks. He's followed by Clayton Frankie, the catcher, and Derek Potter, the right fielder. All 3 gentlemen are combined 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. Moore's first pitch rides inside. 1-0 the starting count here to Martin. A lefty pitcher to righty hitter matchup. Moore quickly sets back up. Full windup he goes. Here's the 1-0. That goes high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
And I think the reason the switch from Sam Hag to Timmy Paris here is Paris is a little better with a young pitcher in Will Moore. He understands what to call and can block that plate a little better.
Next pitch is swung on and hit to third. Nice stop by Kramer. Throw to first is in time. That was a pretty well-hit ball there to third from Martin. 1 up, 1 down on a 5-3 put-out. That's going to bring up Clayton Frankie.
Well, they don't call it the hot corner for nothing.
The catcher, Clayton.
You've got plenty of experience in that hot corner, having done so for Belle Fourche, post 32.
Oh, absolutely. Those balls come quick, and you got to get your reaction time up. And Justin Kramer, a very good job at getting that ball.
Here's the first pitch to Clayton Frankie. That's inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count here from Will Moore. And Clayton Frankie 0 for 2, struck out twice the last time looking. Here's the 1-0. That goes high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. On deck is Derek Potter, also 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts swinging. Here comes the 2-0. That pitch is swung on and weakly hit to Moore. No, fouled. I believe it went off of the person of Clayton Frankie. 2 balls and a strike now the count.
Frankie 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking. He's part of that a strikeout party at the 8 and 9 spot with 0 for 4 and 4 strikeouts to their name between Frankie and Potter. So Will Moore looking to continue the success here against Frankie that McGriff had earlier in the ballgame.
2 balls and a strike now the count from Will Moore to Clayton Frankie. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Hardhats up 2. Next pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now from the young and extremely tall left-hander.
Yeah, he is very tall, and you usually see the downward motion from pitchers, but Moore with a little more of a side release kind of whips it in there.
2-2 misses high and outside. That's going to push things full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So now this is the first full count second full count, that Moore has to deal with. Here's the payoff. 3-2 swung on and hit to third. Kramer again is there for the stop. Throw to first in time. 5-3 in the scorebook. 2 up, 2 down defensively for the Hardhats. Here comes Derek Potter.
Yeah, and Kramer's been busy over there, been involved in 3 5-3 putouts, a couple of plays, a little pop fly. He's just good, been kind of doing it all. He got a couple base hits or 1 base hit, been on base twice. He's just having himself a really good day.
First pitch to Potter's high and outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count here from Will Moore to Derek Potter. Potter, as we had mentioned, as Teddy aptly called it, the strikeout party. He's 0 for 2 with 2 swinging strikeouts. Has a 1-0 count to start here. 2 outs, top of the 6th. Next pitch rides a little too far inside. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Should Potter safely get on base, we'll go back to the top of the order now to Nick Jovetic. 1 for 2. Came around to score twice. He was hit by a pitch as well. Singled in his very first plate appearance. 2-0. Swung on and missed up high. 2 balls and a strike. Something I've noticed from Moore, the brief couple of pitches that he's thrown, he really likes the high part of the strike zone there. A lot of swings and misses up high.
And that could be, too, that sidearm release that he has. The ball kind of rises on his fastball.
2-1. Tried to go with the breaking ball, but it goes low and away. 3 balls and a strike now the count to Potter. 1 pitch away from taking a 2-out free trip to first. Here in the top of the 6th.
And that sidearm motion makes it tough. The only other pitcher that has that is Cody Carlson, who has that sidearm motion as well.
Next pitch is another swing and a miss, strike 2. So good on Will Moore to recover in this count. He's now pushed it full. 1 pitch away from his first K in relief and from ending the top half of the 6th. Also 1 pitch away from perpetuating it. Here comes the 3-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that is going to do it for the top half of the 6th. Defensively for the Hardhats, it's a 1-2-3 inning, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. And at the end of 5.5, the Hardhats have preserved their 5-3 lead. Back to the sticks they go for the bottom half of the 6th. And due up in the bottom half of the 6th, Connor King, Justin Kramer, and then back to the top to Walker Paz. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio Rapid City. Stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
Agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like post-22 baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
A lefty-on-lefty matchup to start off the bottom half of the sixth as he looks in at Connor King.
And the stat line here for Trevor Cunningham, 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 3 walks, and 0 strikeouts to his name after the first 5 innings of this game.
So now here comes Connor King. He's walked twice. Both times he came around to score, and he has a stolen base to his credit as well. Next pitch is chopped to second. There for the stop is Martin. Throw to first is in time. So it's a 4-3 putout to start things off here for the bottom half of the sixth. 1 up, 1 down offensively for the Hardhats. Here comes Justin Kramer.
Yeah, and Kramer, who is 1 for 2 with a single, reached on an error, came around to score, 2 stolen bases. Just doing it all here for the post-22 team. Good defense there out in the field. So we've been high on Kramer here this weekend because he's put himself together a really good 4-game series.
First pitch to Kramer is low and skips away. Ball and no strikes to count. And it's good to see him rebound because last weekend he didn't get a hit in the 2 games he played in Sheridan against the Scarlets and against Spearfish. But now he's finally found a rhythm here. Solid weekend for him. He looks at another pitch low. 2 balls, no strikes to count to the gentleman playing in the hot corner for the Hardhats.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of time. He played Big Sky baseball this fall, and then last season we knew he could hit, so he's just a little rusty, and he's coming back to it.
2-0 is ripped right into the cage in front of the Hardhats dugout. That's going to give Kramer his first strike in the count. Now 2-1 is what he's looking at from Ricky Stevens, the left-handed relief pitcher for the Missoula Mavericks. Time's called on the play by Kramer. So he steps out of the box, exchanges a few pleasantries with our umpire, and now we go right back to it. 2-1 the count. Stevens deals. That breaking ball is hit up high, popped into foul territory, and it lands just outside the Missoula dugout. Frankie made a charge to try and catch it. Couldn't catch up to it. So now that evens the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes for Kramer.
Nice job battling here for Kramer because Missoula is down to its final 3 offensive outs of the game, of course, with Rapid City batting in the bottom half here of the 6th inning. That just leaves the top of the 7th. So Kramer doing a nice job battling, trying to extend it, and then trying to end this game as soon as possible.
Next pitch to Kramer, swung on and hit in the air hard to left field. Paulson's underneath it, and he makes the catch. F7 in the scorebook now. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats. Back to the top of the order we go to Walker Paz. Depending on how the top of the 7th goes, this could be the final offensive out of the game for the Hardhats here in the bottom of the 6th.
Absolutely, and Walker Paz, who was 0 for 3 up to this point, still looking for his first hit. He's kind of had a rough weekend this weekend. He went 0 for 3 in the last game with a walk and a run score, and went 1 for 3 in that 3rd game.
He looks at a first pitch strike here, and in the 4th inning, bottom of the 4th, he had that 4-3 RBI ground out too. So he's made a contribution, but you'd love to get that hit in the stats, bring up your average a bit. 0-1 goes low and outside. That's going to even things at a ball and a strike.
Absolutely. This is one kid we know hits for average, hits for power, hits for just about everything you could ask him for, and he's only had 1 hit so far this weekend. He could definitely use another one to close out this game and really get his confidence back up.
1-1 misses low and outside. 2 balls and a strike now the count. Lefty on lefty matchup again. Stevens the pitcher, Paz the batter. Possibly the final offensive out of the game for the Hardhats here. There's 2 of them now in the bottom of the 6th. Next pitch to Paz, misses low, that's ball 3. One pitch away from a 2-out walk, which would bring up Drake Messenger, who is swinging now in the on-deck circle. Messenger also looking for his first hit of the game as well. Here comes a 3-1. And that's ball 4 up high. Paz took a moment to just wait and make sure he got the assurance from the umpire. And he did. So now there goes Paz with a 2-out walk to first. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Hardhats have a 5-3 lead. Here comes Drake Messenger now.
And Walker Paz, of course, we always talk about how he led the team last season in walks with almost a walk per game average. So nice to see him on first.
Messenger drops the bunt third base side, but it rolls foul. That's balls on a strike to count.
Real tough because he tried to lay that bunt down and clip the edge of the grass. If it just had a half an inch more hop, it'd go into the grass. But that's always tough when you try to lay a bunt down one of the lines. That grass could easily make it roll foul.
And you had made that point earlier a while back on somebody else trying to lay down that bunt single there.
It really makes it tough because you got to get it either in the grass or else it's rolling foul.
Check down to first, doesn't get there in time. Paz is safe at first. Drake Messenger has yet to register a hit. 6-3 putout, RBI sac fly to center, 5-3 putout. Still looking for his first hit of this game. Here comes his 0-1. Swung on and drilled into left center field, and that's going to go for a base hit. And the ball's going to run all the way to the wall. Paz has his go signal going. His helmet's flowing off. He turns on the afterburners, and he will score. It's a 2-out RBI double for Drake Messenger. Talk about one heck of a first hit of the ball game there, and the Hardhats now have a 6-3 lead.
Yeah, and a nice job there by Walker Paz. You mentioned his helmet flying off. He scored from first. He understood when that ball got in the gap and it was rolling all the way to the wall, he was definitely going to score from first base, and then Drake, a really good job putting that in the gap between Jovetic and Paulson and just splitting them. A nice job.
First pitch here to Solano, rides up high for ball 1. Solano is 2 for 3. He started off the game flying out to second and then back-to-back doubles and back-to-back at-bats. The first one good enough for an RBI, and then he scored on that same sequence. Here's his 1-0. Swung on and drilled right to third. Stop made by Schock, and the throw to first is in time. That's going to do it. So the Hardhats had one more run on one hit, no errors, and a man left in scoring position. And at the end of 6 full innings, the Hardhats now have a 6-3 lead. 3 defensive outs away from sweeping the day and going even 2-2 on this 4-game road trip in 2 days. We'll be right back, folks, in just a few moments with the top of the 7th inning. Due up for the Missoula Mavericks, the top of the order, Nick Jovetic, Jacob Bierig, and John Mitchell. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a...
Where will you find...
Here in the top of the 7th inning, the relief appearance of Will Moore has come to an end, and now the fireballing left-hander Cody Carlson now comes up to the mound. He faces the top of the order here for the Missoula Mavericks. Nick Jovetic, Jacob Bierig, and John Mitchell due up for the team batting in the visiting halves of the innings. The Hardhats get out of this inning with 3 outs, at less than 3 runs allowed. The game is over. 6-3 is their lead, hitting into the final inning of regulation in this game. Mark Benetti and Teddy Leipold alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball. Also streaming live on the internet at post22live.com.
Hitting off the top of the 7th for the Missoula Mavericks, the center fielder Nick Jovetic.
So here comes Jovetic to start things off. 1 for 2, singled, flew out to center field, and was hit by a pitch the last time he was up. Both times he has come around to score. He has 2 of the 3 Missoula Mavericks runs. Carlson's first pitch to him. Two-seam fastball breaks inside. That's ball 1. Cody Carlson in the offseason hit up to upwards of 90 miles an hour with his fastball. Next pitch is a swing and a miss on that fastball we were just talking about. Ball and a strike now the count.
And Will Moore in the relief of Hayden McGriff went 1 1/3, no runs hit, or no hits, runs, earned runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout to his name.
Cody Carlson's next pitch goes low and away. 2 balls and a strike now the count. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Cody Carlson just a fireballer on the mound there with his left arm. Nick Jovetic hitting in the left-handed batter's box. 2-1. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. The best thing about Cody is that he gets so much movement on his fastball. And at that velocity, it's a killer. He shakes off Timmy Paris. Agrees on a sign. 2-2. Caught him looking. Strike 3. 1K, 1 up, 1 down for Cody Carlson in the Hardhats defense. 2 outs away from sweeping the day. Here comes Jacob Bierig, the shortstop.
Yeah, and then Cody facing the top part of this lineup, doing a nice job. Got it, that backwards K looking. A lot of strikeouts here. For a quick count, 7 in this ball game. Gotta enjoy that. It's a lot of strikeouts between these pitchers, and Cody's definitely coming in to close out. They don't want to waste any time and only face 3 batters.
First pitch to Bierig, rides up high for ball 1. Jacob Bierig is 2 for 3. Struck out the first time he was up to Hayden McGriff, then singled and then had an RBI double. Was stranded at third in the top half of the 5th. His 1-0, that ball is in there for a strike. Again, that movement we talk about, that was as textbook 2 seams you could get.
Yeah, and he has that arm movement that goes with it. What I mean by that, he's a left-handed pitcher, so it almost makes a banana to the left-hand side, and it looks to the batters like it's going away from these right-handed hitters.
Next pitch is a fastball up high, swing and a miss, strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes the count. By the way, kudos on the description there. It does a banana to the left side. I like that. I like it. Ball and 2 strikes the count here to Bierig. Carlson already with 1 strikeout. Here's the 1-2. Doesn't get him to fish outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count. The gentleman playing shortstop for the Missoula Mavericks.
But that pitch is why he's one of the most effective. Is he started that outside and you saw it run off the plate. Yes, he missed outside, but it's very hard for these right-handed hitters to lay off.
2-2. Rides high and away. Count goes full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 10 total pitches between 2 batters here for Carlson. Timmy Parrish comes out to have a brief word with him, as does the head coach, Mitch Messer. Infield's coming in a bit here, too.
And it looks like we have the umpire in there as well. I think Mitch, the coach Messer was a little worried because Cody was the one that called the conference with Timmy Paris. Cody's the one that wanted to take a little breather for a second. It looks like we're just going to get the entire infield in here.
Make it a family affair here. Again, to be a fly on the wall for some of these conversations.
Yeah.
It looks like we're all ready to rock and roll. Head umpire talking to Coach Messer, and everybody resumes their respective positions, both on the defensive and on the officiating side of things.
Yeah, just might have had a little technical difficulties with the umpire involved there, so just let them know what to do and what they can't do.
Here's a payoff pitch, and that's ball 4. And the ball gets away from Paris, but he's able to catch up to it so that Bierig doesn't take off for second. So there's a walk issued by Cody Carlson. A man on first and 1 out. That's going to bring up John Mitchell.
The first baseman, John Mitchell.
And now this is going to play to Carlson's strength, a big hitter. He doesn't mind these big power hitters because it's a bigger strike zone and he can really just fire it in there. This is where you'll see him get those velocities because he doesn't have to try to command it as much.
First pitch is swung on and chopped to third. Kramer gets the stop. 5-4-3, doesn't get there in time. So it's a 5-4 fielder's choice, and the gentleman in Mitchell is safe on first. So 2 outs here for the Hardhats at the top of the 7th. And who could be possibly the final out of this entire game is Hunter Paulson, the left fielder for Missoula. Still has a man on first here. And Carlson deals. First pitch is in there for strike 1. No balls and a strike to count from Carlson to Paulson. Paulson is 1 for 1. He's reached base all 3 times he's been up, though. He was hit by a pitch, came around to score in the first, singled in the third, walked in the 5th. Next pitch misses outside. That'll even things at a ball and a strike.
And Carlson using that breaking ball and that slider. You don't see him very much. He has such an overpowering fastball. He doesn't have to reach into his arsenal and use those, but he understands the situations when to, and so does his battery mate in Timmy Paris. So a nice job using those breaking pitches in the first two.
Checks the runner on first. Next pitch is careened foul. First base side, and now Cody Carlson is one pitch away from ending this ballgame. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Gentleman on first is John Mitchell. Here comes Hunter Paulson now. Here's the 1-2 from Carlson. That's low and inside, and he will see another pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 6-3 is the Hardhats score. Cody Carlson looking to keep it that way. 1 pitch away for giving the Hardhats a 2-2 split of this 4-game series. Next pitch is ripped to first, and Matt Vickers makes the catch, and that is going to do it. L3 in the scorebook ends the entire contest, and the Hardhats salvage the weekend. 0-2 yesterday, 2-2 today, 2 for 2 today. So 2-2 on the entire road trip. Great effort, top to bottom, for this Hardhats club. Win 6-3 over the Missoula Mavericks.
Yeah, it was a very, very good win. You were if you were watching and listening to it at home, you'd be a little concerned of how they started in that first inning, but Hayden McGriff really settled down, started retiring hitter after hitter after hitter, throwing strikes, trusting his defense, and then the inside the park home run from Sam Haig really fired up this offense and just made a heck of a game here, winning 6-3 and taking the 2 today, beating the 2 teams that beat them yesterday. This is exactly what you wanted, and you got to think that Mitch Messer, the head coach for this post-22 Hardhats team, is absolutely ecstatic, as the team was so down yesterday. The play of these Hardhats and the 2 games yesterday, they just needed to be forgotten. To face that adversity, to come back, and to get 2 wins today, that's huge, and that speaks volumes to these young men in the dugout.
And against 2 quality opponents nonetheless, too. The Hardhats having one heck of a day today. Against the Billings Royals, they won 6-2 earlier today, but today in the second game they won 6-3, so they have combined to outscore their opposition 12-5 in 2 games, so great to see everything improve from top to bottom. Quick recess, folks. We'll be right back with your post-game show and recap of the entire day. Teddy will hand out his MVP, and then we have a new observation to make in the booth as well, and that'll come up in the post-game show in just a few moments. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post-22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
Black Hills State University graduates everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at InVision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. InVision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the guard camp.
This is Mark the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about 2 wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center honors tradition.
Post-22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City is brought to you by SoundPro, the Physical Therapy Center, courtesy Subaru, Pioneer Bank and Trust, Pawn with us, Shields, The Man Salon, and Advanced Dental. A very successful day for this post-22 Hardhats club. Won their first game 6-2 against the Billings Royals. Avenged an 11-1 loss suffered yesterday after 5 innings. A 10-run rule invoked to end the contest, and then today they fire it back with that win I just mentioned against Billings, and then just most recently a 6-3 win over the Missoula Mavericks to avenge what was a 9-6 loss yesterday. So 2 for 2. Even 500 record in the 4 games in 2 days here, but overall some great success today to set the table for what will be the home opener on Wednesday night back in Rapid City. Once again, thank you so much for sticking around with us all day long here on this beautiful Mother's Day in Billings, Montana. Mark Benetti, voice of the Post-22 Hardhats, alongside you in the broadcast booth, as always, joined by former American Legion third baseman, formerly of Post-32 out in Belle-Fourche, Teddy Lightbulb. Teddy, we talked about short-term memory. We talked about getting back to the process. We talked about keeping it simple. A lot of topics covered in the game today, but in all of our shows today. But it's about stringing all of that together. Talking about it's one thing. You've got to execute, and that is exactly what happened from start to finish for this Hardhats club, from the first time they took the batter's box to the last time that they retired a batter.
And that's exactly it. You touch on it perfectly, Mark. And it's saying it's one thing and doing it's another. And head coach Mitch Messer was addressing his guys, and you can only think what he's saying in there is that, hey, you know what? As bad of a day as we had yesterday, you guys came and performed and played very, very well in the 2 games today to take these 2 games today and go 500 in this tournament, and they really did that. They made all the adjustments they wanted. Yes, we saw one error at the end of that very first game, the very last out of the game, and none today for the Post-22 team, and that's exactly what you need. It was smart, fundamental baseball. Got 2 wins. Now 4-2 on the season. Taking that 4-2 record into the home opener is definitely big for these guys.
Let's go ahead and quickly recap the first game. The Hardhats took on the Billings Royals, and they won by a 6-2 score. And it looked pretty interesting. The Hardhats had Matt Vicker start off the game. Billings gets on with a walk, and then there is a K2-4 double play, and that momentum shift really set the tone for the Hardhats. They came back at the top of the second inning, scored 3 runs to Billings 1. Royals still tried to creep back in, left a couple of runners in scoring position, but ultimately the Hardhats pulled away with a big 3-run top of the 5th, got a 6-2 win.
Yeah, it was one of those games you needed, especially against Billings teams. This Billings team is one of the rivals with the Rush here, and that's why you always like to win. It's one of those that is an unspoken rivalry between the guys. We meet them so much. Obviously, we're going to see them again for another 3-game set at our own building this next weekend. So to jump out to this big lead and to get that K2-4 double play, that just turned everything around, and you can always pinpoint a game to one of those moments that really just stands out, that hey, this is good, this is different today, and this is gonna be why we're successful.
I am so glad you said that, because that is the perfect segue for breaking down the second game we just had against the Missoula Mavericks. Down 2-0 after the top of the first inning, went a little too long for Hayden McGriff and company. Single to get a runner on. He came around to score. 2 hit batters in a sequence of 3, where 2 were hit by a pitch, 1 was walked. Another one of those gentlemen came around to score, and then Sam Haig in the bottom half of the second with 1 out decides, you know what, I'm going to turn on my afterburners full blast, goes for an inside the park home run, and that sparked the Hardhats to what would eventually be a 6-3 win.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you did. You saw everybody jumping around in the dugout. You saw Sam Haig fist bumping as he's crossing the plate, and even head coach Mitch Messer jumping around, sending him home, because it was just absolutely awesome. You see that in the park home run, and it gave everyone on that team the energy, the adrenaline, and it carried up through that 6-3 win. That's exactly what you needed, and that's exactly what you got. Is it absolutely amped up the offense, the defense, the pitching, everything you could think of, and it all started with that 1 point and just progressed through that and grew from that. So it's like I said during that first game, there's always that 1 point that you really can just point. You can really look back and be like, hey, this was a turning point. This is where we knew that this game was ours and that we were feeling good this game.
Final stat line across the board for our first game today. The Hardhats had a 6-2 win over the Billings Royals. It was 6 runs on 7 hits with an error, and that came on one of the last 2 batters faced in the entire game. Just muffed exchange from Riley McSherry on the mound to Hayden McGriff playing at first. The Royals, on the other hand, for Billings, had 2 runs on 3 hits and 2 errors defensively. You look to the second game, the Hardhats took a 6-3 win over the Missoula Mavericks, and Missoula, batting in the top halves, had 3 runs on 4 hits with an error and 5 gentlemen left on base, almost all of them left in scoring position. On the other side of things for the Hardhats, it was 6 runs on 7 hits with an error, 6 gentlemen left on the base path for them. So, we're going to go to our normal routine with our post-game shows. For you, Teddy, that is handing out your MVP. Riley McSherry got the first one because of an absolutely stellar relief appearance. I'm almost positive, I think I know who you're going to pick, but who's your MVP for Game 2?
Well, this is hard not to pick this guy. He's one of the only guys with a multi-hit game, and, Hayden McGriff did a really nice job pitching, but Zach Solano gets the MVP for the second game. He is only a DH, so he wasn't in the field, but it was at the point of the game in the 3rd and the 5th inning where he had 2 doubles. He went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles, an RBI, and a run scored. But it's not necessarily the stat line that sticks out too much. It's the timing of when it is. They needed that double in the 3rd to kick off these to kick off that scoring. They needed that double in the 5th to lead off and get everyone around. So it's more the momentum there, and he just had a heck of a day here at the plate, and you really got to give him credit where credit is due.
Now, because you came up with this idea, I'm going to let you introduce this next segment of the post-game show. What exactly do you have planned?
All right, so during our broadcast, to give the fans a little preview to it, but during our broadcast, I was sitting here thinking, and everyone knows me and you are stats guys, and I was thinking, I got being a stat guy from you where I started watching stats, and I'm like, you know what, we need to add a segment of stat of the day into each of our broadcasts, and that's when we talked off air. So I am curious, Mark, what is your stat of the day for this Mother's Day?
Well, I got to give you some credit here. I'm going to use 2 stats of the day because the first one you kind of served me on a silver platter, but then I looked at the score sheet and saw something pretty much on par with that statistic. The first one you gave me was 17 strikeouts through 5 pitchers in 2 games played today. 10 from the first game between Matt Vickers and Riley McSherry, and even 5 split right down the middle. Hayden McGriff comes in with 5 of his own. Will Moore gets 1. Cody Carlson gets 1 looking. 17 Ks between 5 pitchers in 2 games. Absolutely stellar in that respect. The other statistic, when you look at the scorecard, the 6 through 9 hitters for the Missoula Mavericks went a combined 0 for 12 and struck out 5 times in this game. That was one heck of an observation to make. You look at Spencer Schock, he went 0 for 2. James Martin went 0 for 3. Clayton Frankie went 0 for 3. Derek Potter went 0 for 3. And actually, to add, I have to go back an extra position here because it's 5 through 9 that went 0 for 12. Ryan McHugh went 0 for 1. The other gentleman combined went 0 for 11. But 5 of the strikeouts came, as you pointed out earlier in the broadcast, from number 8 and number 9 in the batting order. So those are my stats of the day. 17 combined strikeouts, and 5 through 9 go 0 for 12, 5 combined strikeouts.
And we can even go back to that first game and go 2 for 26, 5 through 9 in today's 2 games. Boom! How's that for a stat of the day? 2 for 26 in the last 5. So yeah, that was a good stat. That made me frantically search it through my book. I think this is going to be a fun segment for us here going forward through the season.
I will always contest. We work in the most fun press box, whether it's at the Rush games in the hockey setting or whether it's in the baseball setting here at Post 22. We always have a blast. So as always, Teddy, thanks so much for your contribution to both of our games today. That will do it for our slate. 4 games are in the books. The Hardhats come out 2-2. Lost both yesterday, won both today on this beautiful Mother's Day here in Billings, Montana. For all of us with the Post 22 organization back at ESPN Radio, special thanks as always to Chris Halgo, Ian Rambo, and Steve Jacobs for all they do today, especially to Ian Rambo for helping us with so many technical difficulties to start off the morning. I promise you, fans, we will have it all ironed out for the home opener on Wednesday as the Hardhats take on Gillette. Special thanks to Ben and Sports Ticket for Post22Live.com and a very smooth sailing day here on the web stream, and to Teddy Leipold, my broadcast partner in crime, for all of his contributions to our broadcast booth. Until Wednesday night at Floyd Fitzgerald Field, this is Mark Benetti, the voice of the Post 22 Hardhats, saying so long, and we will see you on Wednesday night.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
If you jump into a race and you haven't paid the entry fee,
If you just hop in and you don't have a bib number and you just run with it illegally,
it's called being abandoned.
The Charge Bandit is the first stability offering in our run long segment.
we have the armor vent and the 4-foot maximum breathability. We paired it with the Charge Ultimate Response adaptive cushioning. If you go to the medial side, you'll see a stability post here, and we've done stability kind of in our own way where we're more guiding the foot.
This shoe provides a light stability platform for the runner.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product, it's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
At Farm Bureau, we talk about...
Welcome to my house.
It's my house.